Hi friends, before you decide to move abroad, decide what you're not willing to give up. Most people start planning a move abroad by looking at countries. They compare costs of living, weather, apartments, beaches, healthcare, visas, videos about the best places to retire and live abroad. That does make sense. That's the fun part. And to be fair, a lot of YouTube talking heads are not wrong when they tell you to make a list of countries first. You should make the list. Where do you want to go? What can you afford? Which countries have visas or a residency path that actually works for you? Do they want retirees, remote workers, investors, property buyers, or long-term visitors? Can you legally stay there long enough for the kind of life you are imagining? Those questions do matter, but I think they skip something important. A country can look perfect on paper and still fail in your real life. It's easy to fall in love with the first place, then try to bend your life around it. I think a better approach is the opposite. Start with the life you need, then look for the places that could support it. A country is not a requirement. A country is a possible solution. So before you ask, where should I move? Ask, what does my life need in order to make this work? You do not need deep research at this stage. The research will come later. Start with yourself. What are the things you are not willing to give up because your life does not function well without them? And yes, you can dream here. Not everything has to be grim and practical, but be honest about what is truly a requirement and what would simply be nice. For one person, the non-negotiables might be healthcare access, medication access, reliable internet, public transportation, a climate their body can tolerate, a real kitchen, a pet-friendly rental, the ability to fly home when needed. For someone, the list may look completely different, and that's the point. This is not about copying someone else's expat life. This is about understanding your own. Then look at the nice to haves. Maybe you want a balcony, a beach nearby, cafes, a walkable old town, a bathtub, a guest room, mountain views, a farmer's market, a strong expat community. Nice to haves matter. They help you understand what kind of life would feel good, but they are not the same as requirements. A balcony is nice. Healthcare access is different. A beautiful view is nice. A visa path is different. Great restaurants are nice, but if you cannot sleep or get around or afford the place or handle the weather, the restaurants will not carry the whole life. Then be honest about the trade-offs. Maybe moving abroad gives you more freedom, lower costs, better weather, and a stronger sense of possibility, but maybe it also means more distance from family, more uncertainty, less familiarity, planning, stress, and healthcare stress, travel. This is where a pros and cons list will help, but it should not be allowed to outvote your non-negotiables. And if it does, then you may need to move some of those items to the nice to haves columns, because if they can be outvoted, they may not actually be negotiable. A place can have 20 pros and still fail if it misses the one thing you really need. Or maybe you need a compromise plan. You might be able to learn to love something, but if you don't want to feel trapped, you have to understand your own requirements and then compare the countries. Now, the country list becomes more useful because you're not just asking which countries are popular on YouTube. You're asking which countries match the life I am trying to build. For each country, look at the practical side. The cost of living, healthcare, transportation, housing options, climate, distance from family, the language, banking, how easy is it to get money, how easy is it to get your mail, what kind of phones do they have, eSIMs, insurance, emergency travel, the ability to rent before buying, the ability to test a place first. You might also ask how much English is spoken there. But I would not treat that the same way for everyone. For one person, English-speaking services might be essential. For someone else, learning the language may be part of the appeal. Then look at the nice-to-haves. Food, culture, beaches, architecture, museums, mountains, cafes, regional travel, community, lifestyle, beauty, and adventure. Then ask yourself the harder questions. What does this country solve for me? What does it make harder for me? Does it lower my cost of living but increase my distance from family? Does it offer beautiful weather but poor transportation? Does it have great health care in one city but not where I want to actually live? Does it look affordable until I include insurance, utilities, flights, storage, setup costs, or visa runs? This is where the list starts to become useful, not because it tells you which country is best, but because it helps you see which place may actually fit for you. Then turn the best idea into something you can test. This is where a SMART goal can help, but only in a simple way. Make the idea specific enough that you can evaluate it, make it measurable, actionable, relevant, and time-bound. You know what a SMART goal is. Instead of saying we want to move abroad someday, say we are going to spend 30 days in our top choice city and track whether the daily life actually works. This gives you something real. You can pay attention to spending, groceries, transportation, healthcare access, internet, noise, weather, and whether the place still feels manageable after the vacation feeling wears off. And if buying property is part of the dream, test may be even more important. Maybe the next step is not buying. Maybe the next step is renting first, living there normally like you would for 60 or 90 days before making that buying decision. A pros and a cons list helps you think. SMART goals help you turn ideas into tests. And tests tell you more than another beautiful apartment video ever will. So before you decide to move abroad, decide what you are willing not to give up. Decide what would be nice to have. Be honest about the trade-offs. Do the practical research that goes beyond watching YouTube. Do the visa research. Compare the countries against your lifestyle and what you're trying to build, because the goal is not just to move. The goal is to build a life that works when the vacation feeling wears off. Slow Travel Homes is decision coaching for slow travels, retirees, expats, and digital nomads, considering renting, buying property abroad, relocating, or planning long-term stays. If you are dreaming about a home-based retirement home, second home, or long-term investment property abroad, Slow Travel Homes helps you understand the questions, trade-offs, and processes before engaging local professionals. Clarity before commitment. If you want to help to think through your own home-based questions, you can contact me at hello@slowtravelhomes.com. This is the kind of slow travel and lifetime travel abroad you may be useful. Subscribe, like the video, and thanks for being here.